You might have heard about Kristen Stewart's new movie, Love Lies Bleeding. It's, as I said, basically a lesbian bodybuilding movie. I don't know anything else beyond that, but she was bragging about how it has a lot of explicit sex scenes, and it's really great for normalizing gay stuff in Hollywood. It's totally something that we need right now. But a premiere of Love Lies Bleeding that happened in Berlin recently was marred by homophobia, toxicity, and violence. Quote, things spun wildly out of hand. And what they're referring to is a bunch of German dudes in the audience for this premiere just being rowdy, making a lot of offensive jokes, and screaming the entire time. Basically ruining the movie for all of the artsy lesbians who went to see it. So this says, on Saturday, a barrage of homophobic and misogynistic comments during the screening led to a mass walkout, followed by retaliatory protests and a police response. More than 60 queer women stormed out of the premiere once the screening turned toxic, while organizers claim at least 3 instances of physical violence. One attendee says, things spun wildly out of hand, calling the experience traumatic and horrible. She adds, we were afraid for our lives because the kinds of things people say during a film screening are the kinds of people who assault us. So we got scared and we had to get out. They were afraid that all of these misogynistic, homophobic men were going to kill them.
Yeah.
Because they were watching a lesbian bodybuilder movie, of course. So this says that a smart aleck vibe was in the room because this audience for the Berlin Festival leans male and geeky.
Okay.
Male geek is it's a loaded term. It carries a lot of weight in these circles.
I'm surprised I didn't hear incel anywhere there.
They were basically Mystery Science Theater 3000ing the entire time.
Yeah.
So a younger, queerer, more female skewing crowd flocked to the premiere. I guess this was like 1,400 people in total. Attendees tell Variety that the screening's irreverent commentary curdled into more disturbing and legally dubious extremes once the film's same-sex romance took to the forefront.
I suppose that has to do with the fact that it's not the United States and free speech isn't as much of a thing.
What do you mean, legally dubious?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess you could get arrested.
Yeah.
If you make a joke. Love scenes were met with homophobic heckles and jeers, while an instance of sexual coercion in the movie drew applause.
You know what's annoying about this is back in the day, the actual subversive artists would welcome the derision as the point. Mm-hmm. They're challenging the status quo. They're challenging the norm. So they still get to claim that they're doing that, right? They're saying, here I am challenging what is considered normal by society, making a piece of art that's designed to make you, it makes you feel something. Maybe it makes you angry. Maybe it makes you sick. Maybe it makes you happy. Whatever it is, it's designed to push the boundaries of entertainment. But then when they don't get the universal praise that they actually want, which is not what subversive entertainment is actually supposed to do, the whole point is that it's an A24 film. It's not going to be universally loved. It's supposed to supposedly ask you tough, artsy questions that make you think about the state of society. But they don't want that to be the response they get. They want the response from everyone to be universal praise.
Tough, artsy questions.
That's what they want.
Just kill me now.
Yeah.
Representatives of the festival corroborate this account, and they insist that the ugliness was only from a small segment of the crowd, but 10 people out of 1,400 is already 10 too many.
No, it is not. 10 people means that you have made 10 people uncomfortable. They love talking about how they want to make people uncomfortable.
Yep.
Well,
they
here's the point.
Challenge you.
Sit in your discomfort.
They wanted the men in the audience to cross their legs very tightly. and yes, clap like seals. The attendees say, we know the difference between standard jokes and lesbophobic insults and commentary. When audience members applaud during what we feel to be a rape scene, when they pantomime...
Wait, what we feel to be?
what we feel. It was an instance of sexual coercion is all they said. I don't know what it was referring to. Yeah, when audience members applaud during what we feel to be a rape scene, when they pantomime masturbation and catcall the actresses on screen by shouting, "Get naked, she wants boop," disgusting, and dirty boops. I can't say that because it's a slur. At the slightest scene of lesbian intimacy, once spectators stand up to leave the theater or ask for respect only to be booed, insulted, and physically assaulted, and once dozens of lesbians leave the theater in tears, degraded and shocked, we can't speak of a good-natured atmosphere.
Good-natured isn't the point. The point is you made your art. Now people are interpreting it the way they want to interpret it. It's your job to deal with it.
It says the first walkouts began only 20 minutes into the movie. Others from the queer community stayed in the theater to push back against audience commentary. Both parties confirm that some altercations turned from verbal to physical as tempers flared, though the question of instigation leads predictably contrasting responses. Still, both would agree that the rise in hostility gave way to a similar rise in leading to barbs with a hateful bite. Another attendee who goes by, and I kid you not, the name Napalm, two separate words, Napalm, said, "Once we stood up, we started hearing insults directed at us. It became something much nastier, violent. We were overwhelmed, crying, and we said to each other that this wasn't normal."
It's absolutely normal.
Well, I guess normal and common are two different things. I wouldn't have expected a crowd at an artsy film festival to behave like this, but I don't know. Such heated language fueled a growing exodus, eventually seeing somewhere between 60 and 80 attendees regrouping in the cinema lobby, and they started a counter protest outside of the theater.
The best thing would be if they were just like, "Oh my god, the cinematography was just awful." Like did you see they were breaking the 180 rule? they're just bad at their job. Like I was trying to enjoy the scene of the two gay girls, and they have no idea how to hold a camera. What the hell are they doing?
Yeah.
They didn't fix it in editing either.
Yeah, like they didn't even fix it in post.
Yep.
This is awful. Who lit this scene?
It was balanced critique only, of course. And pantomiming masturbation.
It's just, it is the annoying fragility of the artist to be able to create your art that's supposed to push back and say F you, but not be able to take the F you thrown back at them.
Well, this is why they call things queer comfort shows or queer comfort movies. It's about your comfort. It's not about art, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
This needs to be an insular audience and production that's only for us to hold hands and kumbaya.
Yeah.
Basically.
I remember when they were talking about how during the Obama administration, watching House of Cards was great, but during Trump, suddenly it was very terrifying because Trump was in office. They're like...
and then my 8-year-old child came up to me and said, "Mommy, is Trump going to kill all the gay people in America?"
Exactly.
That's... yeah. So they tried to stage a counter protest and told the organizers of the festival to cut the movie short. Just stop playing it. But when the organizers refused to do so, it says the incensed attendees became more vocal, looking to interrupt the screening from the outside before law enforcement arrived to break up their demonstration. Napalm says, "We shouted so that they could hear us inside too, to spoil their experience of the film a bit, just as they had spoiled ours."
The best thing they could have done is to remain stoic and just let the movie play. Mm-hmm. Make them sit through the whole thing. Like, they win by you cutting the movie short.
Aren't you supposed to make bigots uncomfortable?
Yeah.
Isn't that a good thing?
That's the point.
I just, it's like they don't understand the full point of their ideology. Like they're not able to follow through. They can follow through when it's the echo chamber, but when they're actually in front of the people that they want to make uncomfortable, they can only do that on Twitter. They can't do that in public.
The same organizer who was the one that called the police said that they have a duty to make sure all communities feel welcome and on the same footing. The humor in the room should never be targeted and mean-spirited, and all exceptions are intolerable. To be frank, a gram of shit will spoil a kilo of caviar. And right now, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And right now, we're going to do everything we can to remove that gram of shit. We will take direct measures. If someone makes inappropriate comments, they'll be immediately thrown out. So I guess the tables have turned.
But it doesn't matter because nobody got to finish the movie anyways.
And also they're mad because they expect an apology. Napalm says the press release makes absolutely no apology and takes no responsibility for their mistake. So they say the film represents us meaning lesbians, and it was made for and by our community. So to have our experience ruined by homophobes is terrible. We all feel very sad, shocked, and angry because we feel that our position cannot exist without attack. The fight against homophobia still has a long way to go.
There's always a long way to go.
There's always more work to be done.
I would love just one of these groups, like one of these activist organizations, like, you know what? We did it. Ladies and gentlemen.
As soon as you get into, like, you know, affecting legislation, then there's money in it, and then there's people that are going to have a job in it. You know, it's like that's just the way the government works.
Yep.
Well, yeah. Sorry you felt robbed of your experience of a lesbian A24 movie.
See, my problem is that it's an A24 movie, not that it's a lesbian.
That's the real
A24
issue,
movie.
right?
Like it's a stupid company, so therefore the movie's gonna suck anyways.
You saw those pictures of Kristen Stewart from the premiere. Like, this is my opinion. Even when she tries to look ugly, she still can't help looking beautiful.
I disagree. I don't see it, but that's just me.
That mullet is just that's the real offense here.
She just
that's
went
why
to
they
the
should have
barber
called
and
law
said,
enforcement.
Fuck my shit up.
I saw her mullet and I was like, police.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.